Every time I see this thumbnail, I can't help but laugh. Like, this is what they thought would be like a perfect look for Dragon Age: The Veilguard's official reveal trailer. It's just so weird and awkward looking. The comments on the trailer are also absolutely hilarious, but also pretty sad because people are very disappointed in what's become of Dragon Age. Here's a longtime fan of Dragon Age who says that the entire trailer looks like a parody and that BioWare actually killed years worth of hype. And yeah, it looks like this loss of hype is already affecting the game. That Park Place reports BioWare's upcoming Dragon Age: The Veilguard still remains outside Steam's top 50 bestsellers as the game releases in just over 2 weeks. And oh my gosh, what are we looking at right here? This is so creepy. Let's move on. SteamDB reports that Dragon Age: The Veilguard has moved up the charts, but not significantly. The game currently sits in the 57th position in Steam's top sellers and is just inside the top 30 on the most wishlisted upcoming Steam games in 28th position. A little less than a month ago, the game was just 38th on SteamDB's most wishlisted upcoming Steam games and 80th in top sellers. That was on September 20th. Of note, many of the games that were ahead of it on that list have indeed come out, such as Sparking Zero, etc. So the game's movement from 38th to 28th is likely because games have come out that were above it, rather than it actually receiving significantly more wish lists. In fact, as noted above, the game only saw an increase of just 1,887 more followers in the last 7 days. It has only seen an increase of just 6,149 since September 20th. That actually takes us really quick over to the Dragon Age Veilguard subreddit because I found a post over there that actually does discuss the low analytics. From just 1 hour ago, this user says, "Okay, I'm getting excited. As we close into release, I've been getting more and more excited about playing. It's been too long since I've been in this world. Pretty much the only fantasy game I like. More into sci-fi. I'm kinda amazed though, that this sub only has about 2,000 people in it. I thought it would be more. Even the main Dragon Age sub only has like 300k in it. Am I missing the main sub?" A response reading, "The majority opinion on this game, and mine as well, is that it will be terrible. That's why the subs are crazy low. I hope you have a great time in it, but I definitely won't be buying it. I don't know why I'm honestly still here. Guess it's really just to see what everyone says post-release. Just a smidge of hope still left." Another post about the analytics saying Dragon Age Veilguard broke top 50. Response saying, "That sounds really bad. What else is coming out at the same time that it's so low on the ranking?" Back to the article, they say not only does Veilguard not appear to be tracking well, but a couple of the aforementioned games that were ahead of it are finding fantastic success on Steam and will clearly compete with it even though they might not be in the same genre. Metaphor ReFantasio hit an all-time peak of 85,961 concurrent players just a couple of days after its release date. And side note, I keep forgetting how to pronounce that game. Hopefully I got it right. If any of you guys have it, can you recommend it? Let me know. Appreciate you. Atlas also announced that the game had sold over 1 million copies in just its first day as well. It was revealed it was the fastest selling Atlas title. To put that into context, Atlas developed Persona 5. Sparking Zero hit a peak concurrent of 122,554 on its official release date after hitting over 91,000 while it was in early access. YouTuber Dr. Disaster would also talk about this quote being provided, saying, "I have an acquaintance in the retail world, someone who runs 9 stores that sells video games, and I'm hearing that these ratios that we're seeing in dang near every video released for Dragon Age: The Veilguard, that these ratios are correlating with terrible pre-sales data. People are not connecting with the Veilguard because Dragon Age games are supposed to be dark and gritty, and this just looks completely soft." Another quote being provided here from Craig Skistimus, who owns and hosts the Side Scroller Podcast YouTube channel, saying, "FYI, my retail insider says Dragon Age: The Veilguard has 1,069 pre-orders total in their 900 plus stores. To put that into perspective, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom has had over 4,400 in the last 2 weeks." A retail insider also informed that Park Place that Dragon Age: The Veilguard's pre-orders in total got outsold by Zelda Echoes of Wisdom by nearly 20 times. While Skistimus noted Zelda sales were 4,400 in the last 2 weeks, the total sales were closer to 20,000 according to the insider. Furthermore, this source shared that Zelda Echoes of Wisdom actually sold out after it was released, and that Nintendo was very pleased with the game's sales and sees it as, quote, better than expected. They closed the article by saying, "What do you make of Dragon Age: The Veilguard failing to break into the top 50 bestsellers on Steam with just over 2 weeks until its release?" Something else I want to mention is that I was watching a gameplay video for this game a few weeks ago, and there was a comment I saw where someone pointed out how the graphics just look blurry. And ever since I saw that comment, I've also been noticing that, so I'm wondering, if any of you guys are also noticing that as well, or if it's just like us being crazy or something. I don't even mind the graphics, but that blurriness is what gets to me. I'd like to go to their most recent trailer from only 2 weeks ago and take a look at some of the comments there real quick. How did we go from Origins to this abomination? What went wrong in the last 15 years? Why is everyone under 5 feet tall? Why are their heads so big? Concord Middle Ages Edition. Their heads are big, which gives it an off look. Response saying everything is off about this game. For the record, that trailer currently has 2,423 likes versus 1,979 dislikes, according to Jabrek.net. There's another really interesting argument that Dragon Age fans are making in criticism about Veilguard, saying that it's like losing its darker themes, essentially. For example, this comment reading, "You're literally not allowed to be evil," i.e. roleplay, you know, the thing you do in RPGs. Heck, you could still screw over everyone in Dragon Age 2, and you had a fixed protagonist with only class selection, and it still has more roleplay potential. A response saying, yeah, sounds like I just need to replay Fable, to be honest. I personally do appreciate the Fable 1 call out there. That game was freaking awesome. Then there's this whole thing about blood magic. This comment saying, it's going away from its good darker roots from Origins. The fact that blood mage is considered icky by the devs is pretty upsetting to hear. The whole point of these games is to play the character in a role-playing fashion, and they're taking away the more questionable roots by doing something with this singular example. I'm sure there are more as well, but honestly, I think this game will do very poorly. A response to that one saying, second time I've seen this. They consider blood magic to be icky, so they removed it. I'm sorry, what? Other person responding saying, it's not verbatim what they said, but yes, it's true. The developers dislike the thought of the main character having connections to more evil types of magic, so it got removed. More context can be found at this post. Apparently the developers had said, quote, blood magic is unlikely because we've shifted it from a power boost to really being the key to a lot of nasty stuff we aren't interested in having heroes do. Oh, I bet these people would hate the web serial Worm. And then we'll take a look at a response that comment got, saying, that is a disappointing statement. Not because I necessarily need a blood mage subclass, but because the previous games, at least Origins, lets you dip your toe into doing nasty stuff you don't want heroes to do, quote unquote, to fight off a greater threat. At least I see some of the choices in previous games as non-heroic choices every so often. Just feels like we're losing some of the bite these games were originally built on. Yeah, it's like these devs are on some Twitter logic or something. Like, oh, the heroes have to be all good. We can't have any like morally gray stuff there at all. That would be problematic. I've even seen people on Twitter get offended at villains for doing evil things. So yeah, in conclusion, Veilguard clearly seems to be off to a very rough start. Maybe that's even putting it lightly, for a vast number of reasons. Let me know what you think about all this stuff going on with Dragon Age Veilguard, the Veilguard, excuse me, in the comments. And thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed my coverage. And if you did, please consider liking and or subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you. And I'll see you in the next one.